Hello everybody from Plant Reviews. Today is the 2nd of July, and in this video I'm talking about one of the most unusual flowers that I have that I've grown in my in this pot, well, in my allotment, in my collection. It's the only flower in this pot actually, so it's just one species, and this one is Lachenalia Aqua Lady. Lachenalia is a genus of plants that comes from the southern part of Africa, and is a genus of bulbous perennial plants in the family Asparagaceae, subfamily Chiloideae, and is the same actually subfamily of the hyacinths, and indeed these plants are often called Cape hyacinths. Cape because many species are found in the Cape province of South Africa. Another common name for this plant is Cape cowslip, even if they are not closely related to the true cowslips of the genus Primula. The genus is native to South Africa and Namibia, and the name Lachenalia is in honor of the Swiss botanist Werner de Lachenal. More than 100 species are included in this genus, and most of them are widely known for the incredible variety of colors of the beautiful flowers. The range of colors is impressive. They can be white, yellow, red, pink, purple, and everything in between. And there's also a species that is very unique because it has flowers that are turquoise green. Now, this is turquoise green is a very rare color in plants. As far as I am aware, there's only three species that in plants that have these beautiful turquoise green flowers, and this one is the jade vine, the Strongyloidon macrobotris. The other one is the green Ixia viridiflora, and the third one is indeed one member of the genus Lachenalia, that is Lachenalia viridiflora. Viridiflora means with green flowers, and Lachenalia viridiflora is a critically endangered species with only two known populations, very localized in the Vredenburg Peninsula in South Africa. Lachenalia are winter growers, so they sprout usually in autumn, and they grow in winter, with the flowers generally blooming in spring just before going dormant. The inflorescence vaguely remind of hyacinths. Let me get this grass out just to show better the inflorescence. They very vaguely resemble hyacinth, to which again, of course, as I said, they are related. And the flowers are clustered in a vertical spike, so they resembles hyacinths quite well from some points of view. Of course, the flowers are not as packed as the Dutch hyacinths, the garden varieties, the hybrids, garden hybrids. However, they resemble more the wild hyacinths. The plant is the flowers. Sorry, the plant produces flowers arranged in these flower spikes that botanically is known as raceme. There are, in addition to obviously the more than 100 species known in the wild, Lachenalia is a genus of plants that has been widely hybridized. So new hybrids and varieties have been selected for garden purposes, and this one is indeed one of these, Aqua Lady. Aqua Lady is a one of the most beautiful among these hybrids and varieties, because it has very peculiar flowers, to which I will come back in a few seconds. This plant can grow up to 30 centimeters tall and 15 centimeters wide, even if usually is a lot smaller. Indeed, the bigger plant I have now is about probably 10 centimeters at the most, while the others are about 7 or 6 centimeters so far with the flower spike, with top of the flower spike. However, obviously there is this other plant that is slowly developing a few more buds, so it should reach about the same size, about 10 centimeters or maybe 15 at the most. However, I found that this variety can grow up to 30 centimeters tall. In addition to the flower, however, I would like to show you the leaves that are also very, very attractive. They have this kind of blue-green color with these dark spots. They're very peculiar, so I also like the leaves. They are kind of triangular and flat, very, very fleshy. However, of course, the most beautiful part sorry sorry for the sneeze, is of course the flower. The flowers are tubular and obviously are arranged in a raceme, as typical for Lachenalia, and they show a combination of colors particularly striking. They start turquoise, then they fade to pink and end up with purple. It is a very, very unique combination of colors. In particular, this green turquoise is inherited by one of its ancestors, and probably you already guessed who it is, and it is Lachenalia viridiflora. Lachenalia viridiflora has been used as a pollen parent to make this hybrid, Lachenalia Aqua Lady, and basically Lachenalia viridiflora gave to the offspring this beautiful blue green turquoise color that Lachenalia Aqua Lady shows at the base of the flowers. However, this is not, of course, the only parent. The pod parent of Lachenalia Aqua Lady was a hybrid, a Lachenalia hybrid. That was a complex hybrid, so it had several the pod parent had several ancestors, and this included Lachenalia orchioides, subspecies Glausina, Lachenalia bulbiflora, Lachenalia quadricolor, and Lachenalia rubida. Lachenalia Aqua Lady has a great ornamental value because it's a lot more available on the market than its pollen parent Lachenalia viridiflora, and still the flowers, you can see, show this incredible color, at least partly this beautiful turquoise green that you see at the base. Unfortunately, they are not completely turquoise green like Lachenalia viridiflora. However, I still like very much this combination of turquoise green, pink and purple at the end. I think the overall aspect is very exotic. About the smell of the flower, I really can't detect any smell. However, Lachenalia usually in the wild are pollinated by sunbirds, and sunbirds are passerine birds, are perching birds that basically in Africa, Asia and Australia and Oceania they have the same niche of hummingbirds, so they basically most of them pollinate plants, pollinate flowers, and like hummingbirds they have a very well developed sense of vision, of course. They're very good in they're able to distinguish colors very well. However, unfortunately, their olfactory sense is not well developed. So plants that are pollinated by hummingbirds and sunbirds, like in this case Lachenalia species, are usually pollinated by sunbirds, don't have the need really to advertise fragrance when they are directed. They need to attract the pollinators, because the pollinators, the sunbird, wouldn't be able to detect their scent. So they specialized instead to make very bright colored flowers. Most of the Lachenalias. Some Lachenalias are white and pink, so maybe they might have some scent, because sometimes in some genuses, some species of a genus, they are pollinated by pollinators that have mainly visual cues, so they exploit colors to attract flowers, and generally are not scented. However, some other species in the same genus might instead pollinated by insects, for example moths, and then usually have white flowers or pale flowers with a gorgeous fragrance, especially in the evening if they are pollinated by moths, or during the day if they are pollinated, for example, by bees. Going back to Lachenalia Aqua Lady, this is a plant that is hardy only in zones 9 to 11. So if you live in the United Kingdom like me, most of which is USDA zone 8, don't grow the plant in outdoors, because we wouldn't be able to survive the winter. Therefore, the problem is in England is that really the bulbs should be planted in autumn, so Lachenalia really should have a growing cycle like a daffodil. So planted in autumn, with leaves sprouting in late autumn and winter, and in spring the plant will bloom and then go dormant in summer. The problem is that this Lachenalia is not hardy in the United Kingdom, so in order to kind of still enjoy the blooms, what many nurseries do is that they trick the bulb to basically mimic a artificial summer. So they keep the bulbs pretty warm in winter, and then they are sold here in the United Kingdom in spring. Now, spring in the United Kingdom is not that hot as South African spring or South African summer, so the plant will still start growing leaves and roots, and will bloom in late spring or early summer. But then, by now, there is the 2nd of July, the summer is getting hotter even in the United Kingdom, and the plant, this trick is not working anymore, because the plant can basically detect the very long sunlight, very long sunlight hours, the developing increasing high temperature, and as you can see, while I have two plants here that basically after the leaves they develop a flower spike. In this plant, for example, after sprouting the leaves, the flower stem aborted, and in this one is getting aborted too as well. You can basically, what I think is that the leaves in these ones are still kind of green, but for example in this other two are already drying, so the plants are actually feeling that something is wrong, and they are actually in summer. So these two plants with flower spikes sorry again, already developing, I hope that we'll be able to make a seed and seed pods. I would love to see, to sow the seeds and see if I can get offspring that maybe resemble more the beautiful Lachenalia viridiflora. However, these other plants, I think, are going dormant well before blooming, and in this case, I will probably need to start growing them in autumn and winter in my unheated greenhouse. I hope that the temperature will be okay for these plants to still continue to grow in winter. In the southern England, we have I think enough sunlight to grow, sunlight hours to still grow Lachenalia viridiflora in winter. I hope that in Kent usually also we have some nice sunny days even in winter, so I hope that the Lachenalia will be able to grow more naturally this winter in my unheated polytunnel. If you want to buy this plant, I personally bought this variety at Jacquemart in the United Kingdom. However, there are other sellers. For example, I think Kevock Garden in the United Kingdom also sold it. Of course, if you live in Europe and in the USA, it should be a lot easier to get this plant. Not to talk about the fact if you live in South Africa, this must be one of the best plants you can get for the garden, because you can grow it actually outdoors. And I think also in Australia is pretty in many parts of Australia is a plant that can be easily grown outdoors, as well as in other parts of Asia and South America. About the bulbs, need to be planted a few centimeters deep in very well drained soil. In the United Kingdom, usually again the bulbs are available in spring, so the plants will start growing leaves and flowers usually by late spring, early summer, and they will bloom indeed in early summer, the 2nd of July. So this is really the period that usually the bulbs in the United Kingdom are for sale. So basically for Lachenalia, what gardeners do is mimicking a bit what they do with freesias. So the beautifully scented freesias that are also winter growers in South Africa. However, like Lachenalia, they are seldom winter hardy in the United Kingdom. So to circumvent this, freesia bulbs, like Lachenalia bulbs, are sold in spring. They are planted in spring, and they usually bloom in late spring to early summer. Again, this is a way to trick the plants to bloom in United Kingdom, when really they can make the most of the warm temperature of the sunlight. I will keep you updated next year if my Lachenalia Aqua Lady will be able to bloom again next year, when I will grow it a little bit more as really as a South African bulb should be. So from autumn, this South African autumn should grow. So from autumn to spring. Another option, of course, is to keep this Lachenalia in pots if you live in a cold climate, in a conservatory, or in a cool part of your house, with a lot of sunlight and very well lit, very well illuminated, so you can get a lot of sun, or under artificial lights, and of course you will get a beautiful bloom, hopefully. About the growing, as I said, well-drained soil, ideally full sun, especially in the United Kingdom, where usually there's not much sun, and even if in Kent, I'm very lucky that we have a lot of sun usually throughout the year. And keep it well watered during the growing season, but when the leaves start to die down, just stop completely watering until the leaves sprout again, usually in autumn, because the plant will the trick to grow this plant as summer grower, I don't think will last long for more than one time. And as usual, I hope that you enjoy the video, and if you like this video, would be great if you can please give a thumbs up. If you like this video and the other videos on my channel, would be great if you can please subscribe. Of course, if you like to know more about this absolutely gorgeous plant, just let me know, writing your questions in the comments down below, and I will reply as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.